Hello students, welcome back to video 2. We are continuing with the lesson on the Pasture, page number 131. Later, he told Heidi about the different names by which he knew the gods. She soon knew them too, for she had listened attentively. One of them was the big Turk who tried to stick his big horns into all the others. Most of the gods ran away from him. Only the bold Thistle-finch was not afraid of butting Turk from time to time. A small white goat called Snowhopper kept bleating piteously, and Heidi tried to comfort her. Peter told Heidi she is unhappy because her mother, the old goat, was sold off to somebody in Mainfeld 2 days ago. Heidi felt bad and gave Snowhopper a tender hug. So children, here, once they finished eating their food, Peter told about different names of the gods. You know, people who are grazing gods, they call each god with each name, is it? So here, Peter has put a lot of names to gods. And one by one he is telling, and Heidi is listening attentively. Attentively means very carefully. And let's see what was the name. One of them was a big Turk. See the board? One of them was the big Turk. One god's name is Big Turk. And why did he get the name Big Turk? Who tried to stick his big horns into all the others. This Big Turk was a god who hit other gods with the horns. Then most of the gods ran away from him. Only the bold Thistle-finch was not afraid of butting Turks from time to time. So most of the gods, all the other gods, ran away from Big Turk, and only one god was ready to have a fight. Who was that? The other one is Thistle-finch. He was not afraid of butting. Butting means pushing hard. Butting Turk from time to time. A small white goat called Snowhopper kept bleating piteously. So first god is Big Turk, second one is Thistle-finch, and now the third one is Snowhopper. She kept on bleating. Bleating means crying. Cry of a goat is called bleat. So the Snowhopper kept on bleating. Why? What happened? What is the reason? Piteously means sad, in a very sad way. And what was the reason? This Peter told Heidi that Snowhopper kept on crying because her mother, the old goat, was sold off to somebody in Mainfeld 2 days ago. So this Snowhopper's mother was given to some person in Mainfeld. So that is why this little Snowhopper was crying all the time. And Heidi felt bad. Heidi understood the emotion of a goat whose mother is taken away. Said she was also an orphan, so she probably knew the pain of taking separated or being taken away from the parent. So Heidi felt so sad, and she gave a tender hug to Snowhopper. Tender means soothing, lovely hug she gave to Snowhopper. Now the next paragraph. While they were talking, Peter suddenly spotted something further away and bounded after the gods there. Heidi saw him running to a dangerous abyss on the side. Peter had noticed how the rash Thistle-finch had gone nearer and nearer to the dangerous spot. Peter only just came in time to prevent the goat from falling down over the edge. Unfortunately, Peter had stumbled over a stone in his hurry and was only able to catch the goat by one leg. Thistle-finch now bleated furiously, not being able to get up. Peter loudly called for help. Heidi immediately saw that Peter was nearly pulling off the animal's leg. She quickly picked some fragrant herbs and holding them under the animal's nose, she said soothingly, "Come, come, Thistle-finch, and be sensible. You might fall down there and break your leg. That would hurt you horribly." So what happened, children, here? While they were talking about the gods, Peter suddenly spotted something is happening there. What was that? He just bounded after the gods there. He understood that something is happening there, something very dangerous. So he bounded after means he ran after the gods. And what was the scene there? Heidi saw him running to a dangerous abyss on the side. So Peter was running to abyss. Abyss means it's a separation, deep wide separation between two mountain cliffs. So he was running to that place, that dangerous spot. Peter had noticed how the rash thistlefinch had gone nearer and nearer to the dangerous spot. So here this god thistlefinch was going near to that dangerous place. Peter only just came in time to prevent the god from falling down over the edge. So Peter was a very sensible boy. So he understood that something bad is going to happen there, and he just ran. He rushed over that place, and he found that thistlefinch is going to that dangerous spot. Unfortunately, Peter had stumbled over a stone in his hurry and was only able to catch the god by one leg. So when he was rushing, what happened? Peter stumbled. Stumble means just falling. When you are walking something, you just tuck your leg somewhere and you fall. Is it? That is stumbled. He stumbled over a stone and he could only catch one leg of the god. So he got hold of thistlefinch of one leg. One leg was in his hands and the rest of the portion was down. Thistlefinch now bleated furiously. Furiously means angrily. The god was so angry, not being able to get up. Peter is falling down. Peter is down and is in one hand he got the leg of thistlefinch. So thistlefinch was not able to stand up properly and it was bleating furiously. Peter loudly called for help. Heidi immediately saw that Peter was nearly pulling off the animal's leg. She quickly picked some fragrant herbs and holding them under the animal's nose, she said soothingly. So this Heidi was also a wise girl, is it? Instead of screaming around, help, help, somebody please come, she was a very sensible girl. She understood that the situation, she has to deal it alone. So she took some fragrant herbs. Fragrant means herbs which are having pleasant smell. Okay, so she put some fragrant herbs, she plucked some fragrant herbs and she put it near the animal's nose, And very soothingly, very softly she said, come, come thistlefinch and be sensible, you might fall down there and break your leg, that would hurt you horribly. Okay, so she was a sensible girl, is it? Otherwise if she was shouting, will the god listen? No, god is going to fall down in the abyss, and she very sensibly she took some fragrant herbs and put it near the nose of god, and the god very in a soothing voice, very soothing voice, she said, please come, please come. The god turned about and ate the herbs Heidi held in her hand. When Peter got to his feet, he led back the run away with Heidi's help. When he had the god in safety, Peter raised his rod to punish it, but Heidi seized his hands and shouted, you mustn't hurt him, Peter, he is so scared, let him go. When Peter saw Heidi's commanding eyes, he dropped the stick. He said, I'll let him go if you give me a piece of your cheese again tomorrow. Heidi assured him, you may have it all tomorrow and every day because I don't need it, but you must in turn promise to never hurt the gods. I don't care, growled Peter, and in that way he gave his promise. So what happened, children? The thistlefinch was brought back by Heidi. She gave that fragrant herbs and she took it back. Then when the god was safe, Peter was about to punish the thistlefinch. He was so scared, he got so angry that the thistlefinch tried to reach that abyss and trying to jump into that. So he understood that it's very dangerous. So he got so angry and he was ready to punish But Heidi ceased. Ceased means just captured, stopped him and said, you must not hurt him. Why? Because the goat is so scared. The goat understood that it is going to fall into the abyss and it is so scared. So, in this critical situation, you should not punish the goat. Let him go. When Peter saw Heidi's commanding eyes, he dropped the stick. So, Peter obeyed Heidi. Heidi said that you should not punish. So, Peter obeyed. And what was the condition that was put forward by Peter? Peter said that I will not punish this thistle fringe, but you have to give a piece of cheese tomorrow. That was the deal, cheese deal between Heidi and Peter. Heidi assured him, assured means promised. It's all not tomorrow, all the day you can take my cheese because I don't need it. If you love, I am ready to give the cheese piece, you can take it all the day. But you must in return promise to never hurt the goat. So, what did she say? She said that I am ready to give you cheese, but the next day onwards you should not hurt the animals, you should not hurt the goat. So, you can see that Heidi is a very kind girl, is it? Kind, sensible, sharing, she has all the qualities. I don't care, growled Peter, and in that way he gave his promise. So, Peter was a bit angry. Why he was angry? Because she advised that you should not hurt the goats or any other animals. So, he was a bit growled means it's just an angry mood. He said, I don't care, but anyway I am just accepting the suggestion that you said. I am just accepting that and I will also keep the promise.